thank you very much, sir.
You act like you ain't never HP rolled before.
Is that what this is?
Welcome everybody to Reggie Fox. All right, on our channel, you know it's Sanford and Son theme, and so I came up with the idea is we always got polls about what's the best episode, who's the best this, that. I want to make one where we actually do a weekly video and we treat it once a week. We will have a round one, a round two next week, and we're going to find out who is the best ever based on community and votes. Hopefully we get as many people as we can possible. The best ever one and done tournament, and that is with Sanford and Son characters where they made one appearance. Now, it could be, we'll see down the line for other rounds, but it could be a character like Barry Wright, who played Junior Joe Lewis. He also played multiple other side characters. Obviously, for him, it would be Junior Joe Lewis. I'm not talking about actors. I'm talking about one specific character. We know Big Money Grip was also bottom of the deck Dan. That's not what we're saying actor-wise. It's just character. So, we got the tournaments. Before you say, I've already got a few comments in the round one. People were like, well, where's Osgood Wilcox? You can't have it with... Yes, we'll get to him. Let me break it down. In this, we have there's going to be 4 rounds to open with. And each round will have a top seed, right? We got to know who they are. Each top seed. Round 1 is Gus. Round 2 in there will probably be Big Money Grip. Round 3 will be Osgood Wilcox. And round 4 will be the 3 Degrees. Now, I know that's not one person, but they are way too good to not be a top seed and memorable characters, the 3 Degrees. So you won't see those guys go heads up unless it is the final championship, as it should be. But can anybody upset them and get enough? So we will cover today round 1. I'll also put in the description of the video how a link to get to it if you have not already been on our channel and this is the first time you've ever watched it. We have 100 polls and quizzes and so many things all related to Sanford and Son. Please like, subscribe, and join our community. Be part of it because, man, we're at 800 plus subscribers now. I feel like it was just a month ago we were talking about reaching 500. Before you know it, we'll be at 1,000, and it's just going to keep growing from there. So thank you for who has subscribed if you haven't joined today. So who's in round 1 in this opening bracket? You got Jason right now at 13%. Jason from the episode The Kid. We have Moose from the episode Super Flyer. He's at 11%. He's in last place. We got Olaia. It must be the water. She's from Lamont Goes African. And we have, of course, Gus, a guest in the yard now. Olaia, she's at 17%. She's in second place. But running away at this stage is Gus at 60%. As we said, we know. Let's break down each one before we get to it. But you can still have your voice heard. Go vote. Get others to vote. Share it. And let's see, can anyone pull the upset over Gus? Now, let's break down each character before we get to it. Moose. We're going to start with him. And we're not going to talk about who the actor is and all that back stuff. Just the impact in the episode and why maybe they could be the winner of round 1. Moose, we know he's in Super Flyer. When you hear the word Super Flyer, you have to instantly think of Fred and Lamont in a plane and Moose. And we know the best scenes. We will have clips of this. And I'm going to put the clip in. You'll see it in a second. But when Moose is sitting in there, he only has one line. That's it in the entire thing, and we'll see it. He only has one literal line. In the whole episode. The rest is just him sitting there. He plays so well at Fred because he's such a giant guy, and he stands there and blows smoke in Fred's face, and he makes his one line, and then Fred's like, no, you put your cigarette. And then after that, every time Fred says anything, hey, I want a seatbelt. I want an emergency window and an oxygen mask. Hey, Moose, you want an emergency window? And then how he sits there and goes, man, I can't make it. And he's having a heart, it's stressing, going nuts, and he's all, Moose, you can watch me have a heart attack. So Moose doesn't even say other than one line, and yet he's so in so many impactful scenes. Anytime Super Flyer comes up, people bring up Moose. They got to say it. They love him, and on a personal level, all sorts of fun facts about him. But that's neither here or there. So that is why, if you do like Moose, if you think he is the most impactful of this round 1, not of all-time show, right? Let's just get it to each round, move on, and find out where they go. But if you think it's Moose, please vote for Moose. You can even comment in here before or what you did vote on, because I know a lot of us who watch and do comment, they are already all voting. Next up, we got Jason, and that's in the episode The Kid.
You're always supposed to wash your hands every time before you eat. And from the looks of you, you should have the cleanest hands in your block.
When it comes to Jason, I have to say, he's one of my favorite kid actors. He's so funny. He's so good. I've heard other people say he was in other shows, but let's just stay on topic. In this episode, he comes in and he gets such great chemistry with Lamont. He feels so believable. Like he really is a kid who would hang out in a junkyard. He really does live down the street on Lamont's route. And as he's sitting there and he's hanging out with Lamont, and then he gets to stay with Fred, he only gets a few lines off, like when he beats Fred at poker. He's got some lines when he sits in there and he's like, how he's talking about the bones, you know, the necks or the backs.
He eats the chicken neck, and he grew up with a chicken neck. Funny little neck, you couldn't even get a collar to fit him. And one night, him and his wife had an argument, and she almost choked him to death with one hand.
Stop it.
And his twin brother, little Jimmy Haywood, he used to get the other end of the chicken. And when he grew up, his face looked exactly like
I said that to you.
You know, and then Fred, the best part is Fred gets a lot of the jokes off him. Like when he gives the story about the neck, Uncle Leotis, and then he ate the other side of the chicken and his face looked like a pop. Remember, Lamont stops him. But he has so many good parts in the Thunder, What Makes Thunder. Oh man. And in that episode,
Thunder sounds like a storm.
I'm scared of thunder.
Hey, Jason, ain't nothing to be scared of. Don't you know what thunder is? It's nothing but electricity in the atmosphere.
How you telling them a thing like that? You scared me to death. Electricity in the atmosphere.
All right, what is thunder? What makes that sound?
Well, it's thunder. That's Black Angels tap dancing.
he plays up. I think he does well with Fred when he does the poker. I think he does great with Lamont. And a fun fact, not a fun fact, a very funny thing, Fred could have been his stepdad. That's how close it came when Fred wanted to watch him fry the thighs with his mom when she showed up. So yes, if you think it's Jason, vote for him. We've had a few comments in the poll, people saying, hey, it's got to be Jason. They liked him a lot. I think he was very memorable. And I remember growing up when I watched these episodes, I always remembered the episode with the kid. I didn't remember the name of it. I was just like, oh, I like the one with that kid where he came to hang out with them because they felt so good. A lot of TV shows when they have kids in it. Anyways, I'm way off topic. Let's get to the next one, and that is Ola Ia. Oh my gosh, she is sweet as she is beautiful. She comes in.
Excuse my father, Mr. Fred Sanford.
How do you do, Mr. Sanford? I am Ola Ia.
Well, it's probably the water.
She is not as like the kid in a big episode. When I think of Lamont Goes African, the first thing I think of is the dashiki and everything Fred breaks down, Rollo in the dashiki. So I think of that thing more than, and then you think of Ola Ia. So I don't think she's as impactful in the whole episode, but she's still so good, right? She's in there, she's sweet. Fred's flirting with her, you know, if I didn't have a hair in my natural, and she's like, she loves him. She's like, I love you just as you are, and she's got that great accent. I don't know if she actually added it just for acting, but she sounds so good in it.
I like you just as you are, Mr. Sanford.
Yeah, but 30 years ago, I had a head full of hair, and I had it slicked down like Cab Calloway. You know, I had it fried, dyed, and laid to the side.
She's just a pleasure to be around in the show, you can see. And then I love how she even sets Lamont straight, right? And that's the best part. She's like, no, man, if you're going to do the Africanism, you got to follow the culture. And she even says, if you were in my country, you would be beaten. And Fred's like, I wish I had you in Africa. I'd knock you out.
It is inexcusable. In my country, such behavior is unheard of. You would be beaten.
I wish I had you in Nigeria. I'd knock you out.
And so it's kind of like with Jason, where he set up Fred for a lot of the jokes. Ola Ia does do a couple of that. I don't remember too many lines she had me busting up, other than the fact that she was really sweet, really memorable. So she is getting votes. Like I said, she's in second place. She's got 17%. She's beating Moose and she's beating Jason. So I don't have to sell for her too much. But if you vote for her, I'm not going to argue with her. Like I said, when you think of the show characters, Ola Ia is one of the women that I pop in my head, probably top 5 women that pop in my head. So that is her for Ola Ia. And then finally we get to Gus.
Didn't you hear what I said?
I believe it was fire, so
Oh my gosh, we just broke down his episode of Guest in the Yard. Go check that one out. To me, if I look at these 4, as much as when I would probably say when I was younger, I might have voted for Jason just because he was one of the ones I remember a lot. But I love Moose. I like Ola Ia more than Moose because she has actual lines more than Moose. But yeah, now it's got to be Gus. Once I hit my late 20s and on, every time when I think of Sanford and Son, I can't think of a top 20 episode. I can't think, if the Guest in the Yard is on, I'm stopping. There's somewhere I'd be like, oh, you know what? Well, I'm watching Sanford and Son no matter what. But if I said, hey, I'm going to pop on an episode and Guest in the Yard was there in the disc, I'm watching that one. And Gus is such a huge, impactful part of that. He comes in as a sweet old man, and he's poor guy. He's going to kill himself, and, you know, he gets thrown out of a junkyard. Then they take pity on him. Fred doesn't. Fred's like, hey, and I love this line. I forgot to mention it in our breakdown episode.
the morning in the river they'll be sad.
Listen, if you want to commit suicide, just go on down there and stand up at 103rd Street in front of the pool hall. Just stand there like you, just act like you counting some money, and then have to bring your hat to the cemetery.
But he's like, look, if you want to die, he's up. You go over on the corner down here. He said, and you just stand in front of the pool hall, and you just act like you're counting some. You just act like you're counting some money, and they'll get your hat brought to the hospital. And that's so funny, and it's so true. And he doesn't want to kill himself. And then he turns into this complete creep when he acts like he hurts his back, and he's laying on the couch, and he's all, hey, some more beer, Freddie. And he's calling him Freddie. And finally, you know, I'm not going to break it down. We just know the impact Gus had. He's funny. He's a jerk. You want to beat him up, but at the same time, he's so good in the episode. When he, from his interaction with Dr. Caldwell to when he finally gets caught as he has to run up to this bathroom to go pee. Gus, I think because of these 4 episodes that we talk about right here, I would say Superflyer, dang, they're all good. I mean, they're all, I would say probably the kid is probably the lowest of these 4. Jason's still impactful. He had a huge part in it. But I would say Guest in the Yard is probably the best. Maybe Superflyer. I did have Superflyer in the top 10. But, man, I think Gus has got to be it, in my opinion. But comment below, do you think it's Gus? Is it Ola Ia who's in 2nd? Is it Jason who's in 3rd? Or is it Moose who's last? I would probably think that's the order it'll finish in, unless Ola Ia can pull an upset. So that is it for round 1. We will see you next time when we break down round 2. The characters from it, who's in it. We'll let it know, but share it. Get that post and share it on your YouTube page. Let's get as many people as we can. I want to see us break 1,000 votes. The most I've ever seen was 800, and that was on the most popular Fred, with Fred Flintstone, Fred from I Love Lucy, Fred Sanford. Let's get this for this one. Let's get a huge tournament going, and we'll continue to get these episodes out weekly. Thanks a lot, guys. Go check out. We got a couple of, this has been a busy week for me. Heck, I'm back at work, and I'm still making these. Busy week for me. 3rd video this week, and including a short that was just put last night and the night before. So vote, like, subscribe, and keep this channel growing. Talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. Pretty soon we'll be doing a live show on Saturday again. I got my son's baseball, so I can't this week. Talk to you later. Peace.